Good evening, folks. Welcome to Reaching Out with Eddie. Um, I just want to, last week, well, earlier this week, we had our show, and how about I had an email from my attorney, but I did not look at it. But of course, he got it about 4:30, and I didn't get it until the end. Some of you already know that the judge ruled against me. Now, I want to talk a little bit about that, and the reason why I want to talk about that is that I want to make sure you all understand where I'm coming from. Now, one thing is that how about the irony of anything that's going on in Lauderdale County is that we seem to know about it before it happens. But first of all, I want to say this is that I just got some news that Overcoat, y'all know him. I forgot his name, but anyway, we call him Overcoat forever. They just found him deceased in his apartment. And I got the word from Lolo. Lolo seemed to know things when it happened and just have a way of knowing things. But, she's pretty reliable, so I want to send my condolences out to the Lewis family. But let's just get back to my case. They ruled against me, folks. And sure enough, they ruled against me because they said that filing under the wrong statute, the statute that my attorney should have, and I understand that it was my attorney now. With the pandemic going on and then moving about and trying to do things very fast, he just was just trying to get me on the ballot. And he did file under the, and it was fatal to my case. I got to say this about the law. Again, I'm on the side of the law. If a law was written in such a way, you understand that they did, the same thing happened with Michael Grace when he went against Cassidy. They actually, it still should be some kind of investigation going on in Kemper County. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Kemper County, some of the corruption that's going on over in Kemper County. They still could investigate because you cannot break the seals, and we showed you pictures, evidence of wrongdoing, seals being broken and all that, and that's against federal law. So, again, folks can go to jail. But the irony is that they continue to do things that they just don't care about the law. All they care about is each other and forgetting to serve the people, for we're the one. It's we the people, not we one person, or not me the person. It's we the people. So we got to look at all of that. And they denied my petition, meaning that the ruling of the 6 election commissioners that Percy Bland put in place will stand. But no, folks. Now, Percy went on WTOK and said Eddie Holt is holding up the election. No, I'm not, Percy. The same law that you use in order to deny me the right to be on the ballot, I'm using that same law. Now, folks, when I say same law, I'm talking about the Code of Mississippi and the Mississippi Constitution. That's what I'm talking about. See, I'm on the side of the law. It's okay. I'm still a supporter and a believer of Judge Bailey. And I still will vote for him. I don't have any acrimony toward him. I don't have any dislike. What he gave as an opinion, I could read it if I wanted to, and I put it up there for any of you guys to read it. It talked about everything that I talked about. But however, he did not. He said that filing under the wrong statute was fatal to my petition. Understand, the election commissioners did not take me off for filing under the wrong statute. They took me off for not being a resident of the state of Mississippi. I didn't lose because of that, folks. I lost because my attorney, in his zeal to get justice for me, filed under the wrong statute. And, of course, they didn't know that. Kermit didn't know that because he was trying to make a deal with me so that I'd go back before those election commissioners. And I wasn't going to do that. Why would I go in front of someone when they have not treated me fair in the beginning? How can I expect fair treatment from them? So I wanted my day in court, and I got it. And so, folks, you know what I told y'all. And Percy went on. And Percy Bland, I'm going to say this to you. It's not me that's holding up this election. It's the law. You understand that? It's the law. I have a right under the laws, under the state of Mississippi, to appeal, and I will exercise that right. When I'm going to do it? I promise you I'll do it before the deadline. So you heard it from me, folks. So, no, as long as I'm appealing it to be on that ballot. See, Percy, you're scheming, you're lying, you corrupt, you doing things. You go and put people in position not because of the job they'll do, but will they follow you where they fall lockstep in place behind you and do whatever it is that you want to do, no matter how corrupt or how illegal it is. And so all those boards, I hope the new mayor come on board would do something radical, such as remove all of those board members, because they have not done this city. And I'm talking to each and every one of you board members. All of you have not done this city a favor. You have not done this city a service. You have done this city a disservice. And how do you know? Look at the state of this city. We have high crime rate. We have blacks killing other blacks. We have blacks fighting each other. We have our children. We have a failing school system. But instead of doing something about that, you continue to promote incompetence by allowing for incompetent superintendents such as Amy Carter to stay in her position. But see, the Meridian Public School is a 90% at least majority black school. You don't care about our children. So all of you people on the different boards, except for maybe one or two of you. And I can say that because I don't want all of you to think that I'm talking about you. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. I'm definitely talking about the people on the school board. All of you need to go home. John Compton needs to really be in jail. He's a school board attorney. A millionaire done got rich on the oppression of our children. So Percy Bland came in here. He's a rascal, folks. He came in here not to raise this city up from a dead level to a living level, but to oppress it and to scheme and to get everything that he can out of this city, hook or crook. He don't care. He make deals with everybody. And I always wondered why he would not give Lieutenant Jax the job. I know now, because he cannot go to her and make a deal to bring somebody such as Terrell and Darrell Thompson back. She's not going to do that. She's not going to do anything that's going to impede the progress of the city. She's not going to do anything that's going to, would be against her professionalism and everything she learned. But let's just talk about, that I got a text today saying Lieutenant Jax for mayor. Dice man. Man, do you realize that if Lieutenant Jax was to become mayor of Meridian, the support she would get for that? I mean, folks, I'm telling you, Lieutenant Jax for mayor, all I got to say about that, Dice man, is why didn't I think of that? Man, because I'm telling you, Dice man, Lieutenant Jax is mayor. It's what we need. Every time my household got out of it was mama that got it straight. It wasn't dad. Dad wasn't there. And then how about if dad was there, mama still got everything straight.
She'll get my vote.
That's right. She most certainly get my vote. So I think that that's a very good idea, is that Lieutenant Jax, perhaps maybe you should run for mayor. One thing about it, wherever they have you, a training facility, or chief of police, or deputy chief of police, or lieutenant where you are, no matter what, community liaison officer, regardless of what it is, you could run for mayor and you would still have that position. But an appointed position, if you run for mayor, I'm sure that if the mayor would appoint you into that position and you ran against him, he would probably fire you. But one thing about it, you most certainly would get my vote. Folks, I want to kind of like, I'm going to stop talking about, since I went to Lieutenant Jax, I want to talk about this, folks. Do you know, I told you about an officer the other day. Her name is Kayla Gould, Gould. And I might have said Kelly Gold, but it's Gold. She's an officer, and Kelly, I'm told that Kelly, records everything. And I want to say this to you, Kelly. I think you should go to your superiors, and you should go there for protection. I think that you should go there, and you should have John Coleman ass fired. And the reason why I say that, because he took advantage of you. And you don't have to have sex to get promoted. You don't have to do any of those things. And so I want to tell you now, understand that they can call you in there and compel you to give this testimony. I think that you should go on your own in there, because you understand you wouldn't be a whistleblower. And I got to say this to you, Miss Officer Gold, it's not your fault, because he's your superior. He took advantage of you. I know you have pictures and things like that. If you don't want to give it to them, get it to Eddie Hope right here, reaching out with Eddie at yahoo.com. I promise you I'll get it to the right people. And people, it's the low, and I applauded Eddie Kelly. Eddie Kelly is just as corrupt as Percy. That rascal is the whitest black man I know, but he is a little black rascal. I'm just telling you the truth, people. He is corrupt because he's promoting Percy's agenda. Percy wouldn't keep him if he wasn't there. I made another statement about Richard McAllister, too. Richard McAllister don't work for the State Lottery Commission. He work at J&J Construction, folks, up in Collinsville. I think that's Joyner and Joyner. But, I mean, wow, look how he has failed. Look how he has failed. And the same, and Eddie Kelly don't need this job. But Eddie Kelly, I got to say this to you. You're not doing us a service if you're attacking other blacks, not giving this city what it deserves. The only thing that's keeping this city alive is the pipeline. And I'm going to call it that. It's the interstate system. And look at another thing, too, that you city council, the governing authority, got a vote tomorrow. You table a proposal, folks. How is it that Percy Bland want to take QV Sykes Park and give that to somebody that's not from here? Give it to them so they can make all of this money. Again, follow the money, you'll see the corruption. This is not right. I wanna say again to the governing authority that anything that's not going to benefit our children, all of our children, not just a few elite few such as Percy children, and they only got like that so he can be mayor. Once we send his tail home, his little sack gonna dissipate, and he's gonna go on by. You won't be elite anymore, and I assure you that the Thompsons won't be able to keep their children in private school. Folks, when we have public officials or anyone come into public office and they enrich themselves and they make themselves better and they make their friends better at the expense of the community, it's a rat in the cheese house. We gotta get that rat out of there. We don't have to set a trap for that rat, because the rat eats so much cheese they'll usually implode. They're gonna destroy themselves. But I'm kind of jumping around, but I'm not jumping around. You know, I talked about Reverend Charles Coleman. Now I'm gonna tell you what I heard about Reverend Coleman. Now I heard about Reverend Coleman that he's not going to let you use him. That if it's going to hurt him, he's not going to do it. If it's going to hurt this community, I'm told he's not going to do it. Now, I did some investigation on here, so I'm fixing to turn the page. Y'all know this is a Situation Room. Now, I did some investigation on him, and I talked to at least about 15 people that work with the Meridian Police Department. What y'all said, 15? Great Hope. Look here, I'm going to tell you like I told you before, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It was either 15 or 50. I don't know. It could have been 500. I know what you're saying out there, Tube Belt. It's not 500 police officers with the Meridian Tube Belt. Let me tell my story. Anyway, I'm told that he listened to his officers, something that they have not had in a while. I'm also told that he's cleaning up the department. Wow, folks. I was shocked to hear that. I wanted to hear about him slapping his daughter upside the head. Heard a little bit about that too. So we're gonna go on. I'm told that he's direct, that he's straightforward, and he's dedicated to his job of being chief of police. Now I gotta say this about the man. He did make lieutenant with the Mississippi State Highway Patrol. In order to get promoted there now, ain't nobody gonna give that to you. You already know it's harder for a black person than it is for a white person. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Great Hope, you were just saying last week that he was trafficking drugs. Well, I was told that, folks. That might not be true. I was told that. I ain't seen no paperwork. You know, I show you paperwork. So let's just, until we get some evidence of that, that's a rumor. I know what else you're saying. Lord, 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 let me shake in my head over him. Tube Belt, boy, if mama was here, I'd tell on you. I already know what you're saying over there. Say, here you go again. No, I wanted to say this about him hitting his daughter. Now, I know that there's a report out there, and I'm told that he admitted to getting into it with his daughter because of father and daughter. And I can say this now. I had to slap my daughter one time. I slapped the shit out of her. I really did. Well, I slapped her pretty hard. And the reason why I slapped her pretty hard, and that's the only time I ever hit her in her life. I slapped her because she was talking back to me. And I wasn't used to that at all. And she was about 17 years old, 16 or 17 years old. I ain't gonna call her name, but she got pregnant. And I said, you ain't finna have no child in my house. And then, so I went ahead on and made an appointment. And so anyway, she said, well, Daddy, you didn't ask me what I want. Oh, she said it in a mean way. Now, at that particular time, I had not got out. I didn't know Brenda. I didn't know Marie. I didn't know the Dice Man. I was kind of like in my other life going through a transition. My hand just shot out there like a shotgun, and I slapped her so hard, of course, again. To this day, she still don't have children. But I did slap her, and I apologize. And I felt so bad behind that. Again, I'm not promoting violence on women because we really got to learn we got to understand that we are stronger than they are. Not when it comes to leadership, because in my opinion, Rita Jack's going to be the strongest person that we could get to be in that position as mayor or chief of police. Also, I'm told this too, people. I was told this by at least 15 people that he wants Lieutenant Jacks to be his chief of police. And the reason why he wants her is because he's dependent upon her to tell him things that he don't know. And he respect and listen to his senior officers, something that they have not had at that department. And he's rooting out corruption. Folks, I got to say this. John Griffin, you on borrowed time, you should need just go ahead on and go and retire and take it on, because what you did ain't right. This ain't the first time you did that. You know you was messing with the owner of Norma Ruffin's wife, and he hired an investigator and got evidence of that. So this ain't the kind of attitude, the type of personality, the type of people. And then also you went and got my NCIC, Chief Coleman, and I'm calling you Chief Coleman now. Chief Coleman, he got my NCIC off that thing illegally. And the FBI is investigating that. You need to fire him. I'll make a statement. You can go on that machine and it'll tell you who did it. It was March the 26th. That's when it was, if I'm not mistaken. It was March the 26th. That's right. That's when he went on the NCIC, and illegally, I even got the time, it's somewhere around 2:35 or something like that. He went on there, and he did a background check on it and gave it to everybody. Something, again, illegal. That alone is enough for him to be fired. We don't need people like that with the Meridian Police Department. And here's what Percy did not know, is that Lieutenant Jacks and Chief Coleman worked together when he was a state trooper in this area right here, so they got a chance to know each other professionally, and they have that respect for each other already. And so now I assure you folks, this is not what the mayor wants. The mayor don't want this. He don't want to hear any of the things that I just said. He's not going to promote her to chief of deputy chief. You know why? Because he controls the Civil Service Board. That's the reason why the next mayor, boy, wouldn't that be ironic if Rita Jacks was to run for mayor of Meridian and become mayor of this city and clean out that damn Civil Service Board. Boy, wouldn't they shake. But you know what they would need to shake? We don't need all of these. Dice, what kind of people would do things at the expense of their own kind? What kind of person would do that, people? And we have all these people over the board that continue to enrich Percy and his cronies, and they just want to feel good. They're not getting enriched themselves. They just want to feel good, and that's what's bad about this. It is really bad about the corruption in this city and the corruption in this administration. But it just doesn't go here, folks. It goes everywhere. Now, in about 10 more minutes, I'm going to take a break. And, boy, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to tell you what's going on in Kemper County. You know, I've always had respect for Sheriff Moore. I always thought I was proud when he became the first black sheriff of Kemper County. But I've been hearing things about him that doesn't make me so proud now. And for one thing, I don't know for sure, but it appears that almost a lot of the people that are elected in the office in Kemper County basically do things illegally in order to, we're just at still the election. But I'm not going to talk to you about that. I'm going to talk to you about Fred Welch. Frederick Welch is a citizen of Kemper County, and Fred Welch was charged with arson in Kemper County and insurance fraud. And I'm going to tell you about his attorney, Mumford. Attorney Mumford, Gerald Mumford, just got elected into public office, folks. He's the county prosecutor. Gerald Mumford forged this man's signature, folks. I'm going to show it to you here today where he said with permission. Now, you understand, folks, that a permission, we call that a power of attorney. If you do not have a power of attorney, damn it, you can't sign nobody's name and say you're doing it with their permission. Not a lawyer, too. But, folks, that's just another part of it. I want to go on and I want to get back and talk about me. My petition was denied, but I am going to appeal. And understand, Percy, and understand, citizens of Meridian, that it is not me that's holding up the election, but the law. I have a right to appeal, and I will appeal. And you got to understand, as long as I'm appealing, it can't be an election. How can it be an election and I'm still appealing to be on this very election? See, boy, oh, what tangle web we weave once we often practice to deceive. See, person untangled himself up into a web. See, it's kind of like when you dig a ditch, you fall in it. And if you want to know who said that, Sir Walter Scott said that in 1808. It's the kind of thing where he didn't want me, he wants Scott Bancroft. It appears that Scott seemed like you wasting your money. Dwayne Davis seemed like you wasting your money. Ed Holt seemed like you wasting your money. Now, we'll still have the opportunity, folks. Can I talk in suppositions? Let's suppose that I appeal this thing and the Supreme Court place me on the ballot in a month or two. Let's assume that they don't, that they affirm Judge Bailey's decision. Well, I have another right to appeal it to the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans. And yes, Percy, I will appeal it to the Fifth Circuit. And so you can see, folks, how this thing will go on and on and on. It'll cost me money. It's going to cost the city money. But here's the poetic justice. Here's how you get the chance to dance with the devil on pale moon, like Percy, you and Scott Bancroft and Dwayne Davis. Guess what happened next year? Guess what happened in January? Scott Bancroft's ass can't run as an independent then. He going to have to run as a Republican. And I want to see you do that then, Scott Bancroft. I really want to see you run as a Republican District 2. I want to see that. Dwayne Davis, I really want to see, do you think that the people, the citizens of Ward 2, going to elect you in the public office based on the fact that you giving them waters? It's like white folks giving us watermelon. Nigga, we tired of that stuff. We want some substance. What's your platform? What is it that you going to do for Ward 2? What is it you going to do for the citizens of the city of Meridian? How is it all of a sudden, you're not better than any of us. You're not as educated as a lot of us. So what we want, folks, is that we have a right, you have a right, and I have a right to a fair election. It's not fair right now when they scheme and go to the judges or go to their lawyers and get their election commissioners and put them in place and tell them to keep you off the ballot because I don't like him. He's not going to work with me. You right, person. I'm not going to help you continue to steal from the citizens of Meridian, Mississippi. I'm not going to listen to that shit your gay lover, Larry Gill, be saying in the paper. Yes, folks, I said it. I wouldn't say it so he ain't never sued me for slander. Sue me for slander. That's your lover, person. Now, I don't know what kind of freaking y'all doing down there in City Hall for you and Stacy to get in trouble, but you're a pedophile. You've been having sex with that boy, that man now ever since he was a child. Now sue me for slander, nigga, if I'm lying. You long, tall faggot. Oh, I apologize to that, folks. See, I have mood swings. See, I'm college educated, but I'm damn fucking from the East End. I'm from the east side of town. I'm a fucking thug. Shit, I'm a street nigga. And that shit come out of me sometime. But let me get back to myself and speak in a manner that's indicative of my education. I get upset. But I'm speaking facts. But let's assume, don't you, I know it's, look, I have two sisters and a brother that's proud to be gay. So I don't have anything against gay people being in position of authority at all. What I have a problem with is corrupt folk being in position of authority. It just makes it worse if their ass is gay. And then you got Larry Gill, you ain't speaking up for him because he's doing what's right. I can understand that. You speaking up for him because you want him to stay in power. You speaking up for him because y'all want that ballpark to go to these folks from Alabama. Who is these folks? Stay in Alabama. Get your ball field in Alabama. Stay the hell out of our city. They know where to come. They know where to come. You know what? Everybody used to go in Walmart to steal. People came in town just to go in Walmart to steal. They go in there, now they go to jail. Walmart got tired of them stealing. Everybody come to Meridian, Mississippi to steal. Everybody come to Meridian, Mississippi because the person that got the keys to the store ain't nothing but a crook and a corrupted person himself. So they already know that all over the state, all over the United States, they come from other countries to deal with person playing, lying, cheating, stealing ass. Taking that asbestos, the dump truck turned over, taking that asbestos from the 3-foot building. We don't care about that 3-foot building. You wasn't even here when they used to be up, when you used to go up in there and see them doctors. We were here. We don't care about that 3-foot building. We cared about the COFO building. You're talking about what black folks care about. We care about the Carnegie Library. We care about that. The only black library, was only 2 built in the United States, and you tore it down. We care about the Masonic Lodge on 26th Avenue that you tore down. Harris High that you tore down. We talking about the original Harris High that Baby Leeson. It used to be Family Dollar. It was back on there, I think, what's that in Frankberry, that road there? What's that, 40th Avenue? Yeah. 40th Avenue, folks, lead into Frankberry, or 41st Avenue, straight in front of Frankberry, Harris High, the original Harris High was there, and white folks tore it down. These are the kind of things that we care about. You want to hide your bloody past by destroying what you did, but we already know. Now you got these same folks that you always giving P&K engineers, Bob Luke them, finna go and destroy the courthouse. Don't touch it. Leave it the hell alone and rent it out, make it a museum. They used to hang people upstairs. The first race riot was right there. Embrace the bloody past. It'll get more business than your new monstrosity that you're building out there you call a children's museum. Yes, I care about the children, but the children's museum is not going to bring money and resources into this city. It's going to be another cow that's going to drain resources from the city of Meridian and Lauderdale County in the state of Mississippi. Why would anybody want to come here to a children's museum? Why our children can't go to it? Why would anybody want to come to Meridian, Mississippi to go to a children's museum when they can go to the McWane Center in Birmingham? And then they have the Civil Rights Museum there. They still have the church that blew up where 4 little girls got killed at. Birmingham knows how to embrace their past and make money off of it. You need to learn how to do that. Percy, you are the worst thing. It would have been better had you not been born. You need to get the coronavirus 19. I don't care. I went when nobody care. Not Johnny Depp might care. She be kissing your behind so much, maybe if you got it, you can give it her, and both of y'all go at the same time. The city benefit from that. Oh, I know what some of y'all saying out there. Oh, you got to be more forgiving than that. I'm David. I'm going to knock Goliath's ass down with the slingshot. I'm killing him dead. That's me. I'm not even remorseful behind it. I want to go now, folks, and Dice Man, play me a song, folks. When we come back, we're going to shift gears, and we're going to talk about the Gillings a little bit, and we're going to talk about Fred Welch. Play that song, Dice Man. Folks, welcome back to Reaching Out with Eddie. Folks, you know, I really appreciate you guys tuning in and sharing my video and subscribing. Like us and continue to subscribe. And you know, last week I read about this what Dustin Markham had posted on his Facebook account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Dice Man put that up there, because I want you guys to read it and leave it up there for a moment. And the reason why I want it up there, because I want you guys to be able to go back and look at that, because it was really profound what he said. You know, I talked about Craig Houston last week. Sure enough, he came through the door. I was laughing so hard that if I had to knock him out, I couldn't knock him out. But anyway, he just came by and said I threw him up under the bus. But, you know, I consider him, you know, a friend and a confidant. But we do need more people that will actually stand up, and I believe he's one of those individuals. I think he should be a supervisor now. I don't know what his aspirations are in the future, but if it's in politics and when you don't elect people like him, people like Attorney Denson, you're not hurting these people. And Marie Franklin, you're actually hurting yourself because you don't have the most qualified person in that position, and definitely don't have a person in that that's going to be fair and going to listen at what you say and understand what's going on. You know, I was listening at what Lolo was saying last week, and I watched her videos, and I can tell you, I laugh. Sometimes I laugh, but one of the things that she was talking about made a lot of sense. She was talking about how Andre Harris had signed a warrant against her. Now, that warrant was dismissed. Now, see, that's one thing that a good Justice Court judge would not sign a warrant on a person unless that person has merits. That warrant did not have any merits. And that's the reason why I wanted to be a Justice Court judge. And here's what I like to say to Lolo. Maybe that's one of the things that you perhaps need to look at. You do live in District 2, but to be a Justice Court judge, you don't have to live in District 2. You can live anywhere in the district because we have 5 districts and only 4 judges based on population. So maybe that's something that you should consider, running against Andre Harris. I just don't think anyone should do things because of the person that's bringing the charges. I don't think people should be just kicked out of their house. When people don't pay their rent now, if they have a drug problem, well, we need to address that drug problem. People don't need to be kicked out of the house. We need to understand why they're being kicked out, why they're not paying their rent. Now, if they're sorry and they're not paying the rent, I still think everybody needs a chance. And I think that the system is set up in such a way that the people, the tenant, doesn't get a fair chance at bat. And I really do believe that. And I think that we need Justice Court judges that's going to care more about the people and right than we'll say being important, and perhaps maybe every time somebody come up that represents some business, then it's automatically they get a favorable decision. We got to get away from that. We got to listen at the merits. We cannot continue to have predetermined outcomes on cases that's dealing with the citizens in this county and in this city and in this state, because that's what's hurting us. We're so backwards. And all you folks that continue to doing that, you just need to go and die, go and retire. But folks, what good is it for them to die and retire when they put somebody else in their place that's going to continue on with the same type of going on that's been going on all the time? We allow for that to happen. We got to rise up and slay the beast, and the only way we do that, we're going to have to start voting as a block, and we're going to have to put the right people in position of authority. For judges to get in there, nobody run against them. Attorneys, shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Let the law work for you. Once you start letting the law work for you, you don't have to bow down and not run against that judge, because these judges, they're not right. They're not doing what they should be doing. And so I want to talk about Greg Gillen, folks. You know, I've been talking about him. I talked about Robert Jones. I talked about Judge Primo, how they illegally using the NCIC in order to get this man to come back here. And we talking about a divorce, people. Here's all I got to say. Go back to the time to kill. What if it was you going through this? It ain't got to be about $1 million. We talking about right. We talking about the law. I applaud Judge Bailey's decision because he was on point with the law. Me, as I'm able to understand the law, he was right on point. I can't understand Judge Primo signing the order. Folks, he signed the dice, man, put the order up. There's a couple of documents here that I'm fixing to, well, no, I don't have that yet. But he did sign the order. I have it on my phone and I sent it. So next week I'll show that to you. I'll show you a copy of the order that Judge Primo signed. Robert Jones signed it. Leanne Keys objected. She did a stellar job for her to be sick. I wasn't there, but I was told. She did a stellar job being sick. She came in, she tried to defend that man. And I wasn't there, but can I just paraphrase for y'all? I object, Judge, Your Honor, sir. This just not right. This is not what the law allows for. Why don't we just go on and just have divorce hearing? Perhaps maybe we'll let that man keep that money and we can give him some more. And so, folks, now it's illegal. But the way I see this order being placed on the NCIC, now they got your credit report and all that kind of stuff on there. But for the judge to order that he's in violation and it's a contempt charge against him will cause law enforcement to pick that man up. Now let's assume that this man got $900,000 on him. What do you think they're gonna do if they pull that man over with that kind of money on him? They're gonna confiscate that money. They're gonna take him downtown, and then they're gonna see, say, well, okay, now he ain't charged with murder. They looking at the paper. He ain't charged with murder. He's not charged with no felonies at all. Well, we can't take this man. We can't send this man back to Mississippi because it's not, what he has done is not an extraditable offense. But the fact that they placed him on the NCIC, folks, could get him killed. It really could. What if a law enforcement think that he's a criminal? Wow, now, well, he's dead and he's gone, but his children are grieving, his parents are grieving, and any relatives that care about him going to be grieving too. I don't care how bad you think a person is, there's somebody out there love them and don't want nothing bad to happen to them. It's simple as that. It was wrong. Now, see, now I got to say this about Judge Primo. I know y'all said it's got to be something. Ain't nothing wrong with me. It's got to be something wrong with a judge that gets so powerful that he can do what he want to do, that he can put things like this on the NCIC. Now, I say, now, it suggests, I don't know, but Robert Jones signed it. I don't know, folks. All I know is that it's not right. Now, I know what you got to do, Greg, is that you got to fight. You got to fight, Greg. You can't stand there and take a punch all the time. Look at Muhammad Ali, how he died. He got to the point where he wasn't as fast. He couldn't float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. So what he did, he got on the ropes, and they call it the rope-a-dope. Because really, a dope is a stupid person. You get on the rope and you take blows until somebody get tired. But look at the condition it left him in. He had Parkinson's so bad, it killed him. You cannot just stand and take blows. And how about this one boxer end up getting beat with, they took the padding out of the gloves and put plaster in there. And the guy, he was beat so bad. But anyway, the boxer and his trainer did 2 years in prison. But my point of it is that he was getting hit pretty hard. Greg, you're getting hit pretty hard. You can't just stand there on the rope and let them keep doing that to you. What'll happen in the end is that you'll end up losing what money you have, being incarcerated, and you'll be destitute. Because I assure you, Greg, that if somebody come across you, a police officer, anything, and you have that money on you, if they read that on the NCIC, then they're going to come and they're going to, anything you own or anything like that, search warrants and stuff like that, and they find that money. I'm going to tell you, we got some corrupt officers here in Meridian, Mississippi. Not all of them, but we got some that if they find that kind of money, they ain't getting turning shit in. So, Greg, this whole thing is designed, and I got to tell you this, Rob, it seems like a good plan, but it's not a good plan. The reason why it's not a good plan because if Missouri get hold of that money, they ain't finna send it back to you. They're not going to send Greg back to the state of Mississippi because he ain't stole that money. That's his money. He has not committed a felony, so it's not anything that he's done that's going to cause the state of Missouri to extradite him back here. What you guys have done is you have violated his rights, and he needs to get in touch with the Justice Department and have all y'all investigated. Now, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Shoot, I'll come. I already know it. I ain't finna let nobody mess with me and I don't mess with them. Ain't no way in the world I'm just going to stand and let anybody just fight me. I'm going to punch back. You can't just, as good as I fight, as good as anyone fight, as good as Floyd Mayweather fight, he cannot just stand there and not punch back. He would not have won 50 fights like he did if he didn't fight back. So, Greg, you got to fight back. So, again, I said it on this show before, and I'm going to say it again. I will file a complaint with the Justice Department. I'll file a lawsuit against everybody involved in the state of Missouri, not including Leanne Key, because I think she did a stellar job. But I most certainly would file against those. I'll file against the plaintiff's attorney and the plaintiff's judge outside in the state of Missouri. I filed a complaint with the Justice Department and the FBI charging them with illegal use of the NCIC. Now, it seems like the city of Meridian going to lose theirs if Lauderdale County put your name on there and it's illegal, then they could lose their certification too. And then the whole Lauderdale County and Meridian, Mississippi have find themselves going to, I guess, Clark County, or maybe even Kemper County, unless Kemper County lose theirs too. But there needs to be some accountability. That's why I'm on the side of the law. Now I got the last part of my show. Dice, look, we've opened up the phone line so you guys can call. And I want to say this, Dice Man, has there been any comments?
Yeah, we got some, bro.
Okay, well, we're going to read those comments, and then I'm going to close my show out talking about Fred Welch. Dice Man, what are they saying?
Okay, we got Ellen Franklin says, good evening, fellas and peeps looking on. Loretta Bennett says,
hey,
greetings.
Greetings.
Tracy Hope
hey,
says,
baby.
hello. I'm finna get it right. Denson Law Firm.
Oh,
Jay Denson Law.
Attorney Denson. Oh, but that's my lawyer, folks. Let me tell you now. He did his thing now. He did his thing. He sure did. But we got this, don't we, attorney?
He says, hello, Mr. Hope.
Hey, Attorney Denson.
Signing in. Loretta Bennett says Charles Coleman claimed he never hit his daughter, but the daughter's voice on 911 call says otherwise. On the 911 call says otherwise. Tristan B. Hampton, what's up, Tristan? Says Coleman's daughter is an adult woman, though, right?
That's right.
Okay. I'm going to skip down a little bit here. Taiz says, good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Sammy Franklin says, hello, Eddie and Dice. Hello, your shows are the highlights of my week. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Tristan B. Hampton, you know that law. That's your greatest advantage. You know the law. Okay. Loretta Bennett says, water versus watermelon.
Isn't that something? I understand what she's saying.
Okay.
You know, like, one of the things that Wayman Newell allegedly said is that if you get them niggas some watermelon, I got their vote. And so basically cleaning graveyard is his way of giving out watermelon. Dwayne Davis giving out water. Wow, you know, we need more than that, Dwayne. We need substance. Continue, Dice Man.
Okay, Ellen Franklin says they know where to come because Bland already gave the best park we had to Phil Harden several years ago and kicked our children to the curb. He's up to his same no good thieving tricks.
Well, we can fix that. We get his ass up out of there and put somebody in there, and we'll get our ballparks. We can get all that back. It can't be perpetual.
Okay. Tavio Rand says, was on my way, but one of the listeners pulled me over and praised the show, and we talked while you was on.
Tavio, you know what I was saying? We thought maybe you had forgot because, you know, sometimes I forget. But we appreciate you, and we'll be seeing you next Thursday or Tuesday now. Which day is? Well, you let the Dice Man know. I think we're going to see Tavio Tuesday.
Okay. C. Ruffin says, what's up, Gray and Dice? What's up, Sid?
Hey, Sid.
And Ellen Franklin says, in my opinion, Robert Jones acts like a maggot worm, slimy and no good, and had the nerve to run for office in the black community, the same ones he's killing now.
Wow. You know what? I want to thank everybody for those comments. Anything else, Dice Man?
That's it, bro.
I really appreciate you guys listening in, but I got to say this, is that we not only just here. How about in Kemper County? We talk about Fred Welch. Fred Welch, I got this information from a very reliable source, and tool belt don't start with me. Well, you know I had to pick at the tool belt. One of the things is that I gotta, thinking about my brother before I talk about Fred, I gotta say this, is that my brother used to be the manager of Tucker Gutter Service. He's one of the best gutter installers even to this day. And so what they did, folks, is that they brought, now he had white folk working up under him, probably one, maybe two, and black folks. Now they brought a white guy in that did not know anything, and my brother trained him, but from the door, he was put over him, put over my brother. And so, and this guy didn't know anything. So here my brother is, not making as much money as this guy. And this guy didn't know anything, and my brother's training him. And eventually my brother left that job And so it's when I got into real estate. I bought a house on, I think probably about 29th Avenue and probably 19th Street on the corner. And I said, bro, I said, don't worry about it. Fix it. He said, Gray, I don't know how to do that. I said, hell, learn as you go. He said, okay. Boy, did he learn as go. Boy, I can remember the first wall tool belt. I'm finna pick on you a little bit. Dice, he put about this much mud on the wall. But you know what? He's a pro now. That tool belt, I call it tool belt because he can build anything. But I said this to say this. Is they keep bringing people that are not as qualified as Rita Jacks and a lot of other officers at that Meridian Police Department for her to train. Does that really make any sense for us to bring somebody in that doesn't know the job, even though he's speaking well of her, even though he want her as his chief, but he doesn't know what she know? He doesn't know. He's using her for training, and he's making more money than her. Folks, we got to get away from that. We got to start recognizing talent, homegrown talent. We got to start promoting our own talent and from within. We messed this up. We can't fault all of this on person because we gave him that job. He lied to us, he deceived us, but we can fix that. We got to start showing Percy and people like him, Scott Bancroft, Dwayne Davis, and everybody else think that cleaning graveyard is the solution to this city, and it's not. We got to start showing them that democracy means temporary job, that we going to start looking at your scorecard, that if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, that everything you do is antagonized and adverse to this community, then we're going to send you home at the next election. We need to have accountability so that they cannot misuse the NCIC. So that when we get people like Percy in there, we can truly recall them, Dennis Ray, according to the law. The state of Mississippi does not have a recall vote. They don't have that. You can't even write in a candidate. They have a write-in space there that ain't nothing but playing game. That person can get more numbers. The only time it will work if everybody else die. That's the only time it'll work. Other than that, it will not work. But what happened with Fred? Fred was charged with arson. And at first they was investigating him. Now, I'm told that it might be because maybe him and Sheriff Moore likes the same lady. I don't know, folk. But all I know is that they giving this man hell. Now, when he was finally arrested, he had let his attorney know. He was told to hire this guy, Charles Mumford out of Jackson, the Mumford Law Firm. Under Gerald Mumford, not Charles. Gerald Mumford now is the county prosecutor for Hinds County. He was elected in that position. He never would have got in that position, folks, if they knew that he had sold out his client in Kemper County. Now, he signed his client's name, and he said so by permission. Folks, you can't sign nobody's name, not by permission. If you're going to do that, you got to get a power of attorney. That's what the law says. And so Mumford signed his name twice to get a extension, allow for them to continue the case without him being aware of it. So once they went past the 270 days, you have a right to a speedy trial. And so whoever called you, you're going to have to call back because I'm on a roll. And anyway, so Mumford stalled and did all kind of things. And finally, he let him know. And when he said, okay, I filed a thing. So when he thinking that it's going to be filed for the case to be dismissed because they done violated his right to a speedy trial, he stopped at the courthouse and looked, and he see, well, Mumford done signed his name not one time, but 2 times. Of course, he's irate now, so he want to see Mumford. So they do a lot of text messaging and all that, and finally go up there. Mumford give him $3,500 of his money back. He filed a bar complaint against Mumford for forgery. Mumford lied and said that he signed his name because he was at the courthouse and he had stepped out. Folks, I don't care if I step out for a minute. You don't have a right to sign. There's no law under the land allow for you to sign anyone's name. Do you realize that the bar dismissed this? Mumford lied, and so when Mumford lied, then what Fred did, and I'm gonna call him Fred Welch. What Mr. Welch did is that he's acting as his own attorney by now. He filed a subpoena. At first, the court wouldn't even give him a subpoena, folks. So finally, he gets subpoenas. He had to actually call the attorney general online on speakerphone in order to make them issue the subpoena. Now, understand, in the state of Mississippi or anywhere, You have a right to a subpoena. They have to issue you a blank subpoena on any case based upon your request. If it's an open case, they can't ask you what's in it. They can't say anything. But in Kemper County, they was doing all that. The Attorney General made them give him subpoena. He subpoenaed the camcorder, the video footage from the courthouse, where the sheriff bucked and said that we talking about Sheriff Moore. James Moore. He said that it wasn't filed right. So he gave him plenty of time and filed it again. In the interim, Sheriff Moore had the people that installed the video to come up and take the hard drive out of it. And so when he go there and everything, he says it's not there. And call this guy here. The camera, we got new footage. So when he called the guy up, the owner of the company said Sheriff Moore had him come up and change the hard drive out. The guy asked where the hard drive is. Well, Sheriff Moore got the hard drive, folks, and won't give it to him. Now, you understand, anything goes on a hard drive stays on a hard drive. They call that magnetic imaging, like an MRI. How they look at your body. They can look at the hard drive. So when you put stuff on your hard drive and erase it, and even if you get a Wonder Washer, even if you get this program from the CIA, it's still on that hard drive. They get a forensic scientist, and they'll get that hard drive, and they'll go in there, and they'll put it in their computer, and they'll get everything off that's on there. That's the reason why I don't buy used computer, folks, because I want to know what's on my hard drive. I don't want to get a hard drive that John Doe been having sex with a 13-year-old who's now 20 years old, and the person is a male, because if they get that hard drive, they're going to put me in jail, and they should be putting the mayor in jail. You understand what I'm saying? And Percy, I got to say this. I'm going to deviate a little bit. Do you realize that as long as Johnny Gill is alive, that he can put you in jail for statutory rape? You had sex with that young man when he was 13 years old or younger. As long as he's a live person, if he ever wake up out of that spell you got up under, he can put your ass in jail for statutory rape of a child. You would never get out of jail. But let me go back to Fred Webb. Fred, anyway, he couldn't get the hard drive from. And so he asked me, and I don't mind telling you folks, I told him, I said, you can have the man arrested. He forged your signature. Put it up there, Dice Man. Show those two documents, folks. This here is Mumford now. This here is the actual motion from Kemper County where Mumford signed this guy's name. Can you show it to me, Dice? Are the folks looking at it?
It's up there.
Now look at it, folks. Y'all see it down there? Kind of point the cursor to the signature where it said, by permission. Where's your damn power of attorney, Mumford? We don't need people like that to be the county prosecutor. Folks, do you realize that the Mississippi bar dismissed his complaint? See how you can't expect the wolf to guard the wolf. You can't, how they going, you asking them to police each other. They're not going to do that. Not in the state of Mississippi. They should have asked for the hard drive. They didn't ask for it, but he want that as a part of his defense. Do you realize because of corruption, this man signed his paper and this man lost his right to a speedy trial, folks? Now, Judge Wright is the judge. Judge Bailey done did some very favorable rulings for this guy. Cassie Coleman is the prosecutor. Arson is one of the hardest things in the world to prove, folks, if you ain't there seen it. They offered this man a non-adjudicated plea deal, non-reported. So you understand, folks, if they offered him that and he wouldn't take that, ain't nobody going to plead guilty for something they did not do. So he go before the board of supervisors and the sheriff, I'm told by a very reliable source, the sheriff got in there and said he gave him, the sheriff didn't give him anything, folks. Would not give him a hard drive. How about he got everybody's address? And folks, I think he filed a complaint with the Justice Department. That's what I would do, what I advised him to do, and I'm just about sure he did. So you're going to have the Justice Department looking at that county, and if Greg Gilliam does what he's supposed to do, you're going to have the Justice Department looking at Lauderdale County. I already got the FBI and the Justice Department looking at the city of Meridian. It's this little 10th district, folks. Very reason why we don't want people like Cassie Coleman to be the prosecutor. Very reason why we don't want folks like James Moore. He been there too long. When you get to the point where you can think that you can do what you want to do, folks, I forgot to tell you this. One time he told them not to even give him a subpoena and they wouldn't do it. That's the reason why he had to call the Attorney General. How is it that the damn sheriff gonna tell the circuit clerk what she can and cannot do? That's a sheriff, that's abuse of authority under color state law, and the FBI would take your ass to jail, James Moore. You better go ask them 4 police officers. Yeah, you the sheriff, or you might be the sheriff and guard in Kemper County, but time you leave Kemper County, sir, you are just a Maine citizen, but it's somebody more powerful than you. And Marie Franklin, I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It's got, I mean, I already know what they do around here. I don't know what they do in Kemper County. But let's say that the bookies up there doing what they want to do. Let's say the drug dealers up there doing what they want to do. If they're up there doing what they want to do, that means somebody taking some money somewhere. I want to wish myself, Fred Welch, and Greg Gillen the best. Because, man, I got to tell you, our life is on the line. They don't give a damn about you, Greg. They don't give a damn about you, Fred. They don't give a damn about you, Great Hope. They don't give a damn about us. And don't y'all think that it's black and white. Percy is black. James Moore is black. Greg is white, and the judges that he's dealing with is white. So this ain't about black and white, folks. It's about right and wrong. It's about the law. The law will vindicate all of us, but we need the people that we put there as our keepers of the law to follow those very same law that they whipping us with. There's no way that we can be in a viable society and continue to have growth and production and development under an oppressive regime. And the only way it go, Fred Welch put his life on the line. Greg Gillen has his life on the line. It ain't even a criminal matter. It's a civil matter. There's no way anybody should be able to do that. Now, I think to each his own. Now, I believe that. There ain't no way in hell Robert Jones got no damn business being a city court judge in a majority black city. Now, he ain't got no business being that. Now, if we wouldn't have gave him that kind of power, maybe he wouldn't have had the power to do what he's doing to Greg Gillen. But we suffering under the hands of all these judges. Folks, I want to thank y'all for listening in and everything. Is anything you want to say, Dice Man? Well, folks, I want to thank y'all for listening in. Y'all have a safe weekend. You know I got to have a safe weekend. You know what? I got a pit bull here. That more, but how much he weigh, Dice? About 100 pounds?
Too big.
He big. I'm still giving him the growth hormone so he can get bigger and bigger. Come up in here if you want to. Now, I promise either Smith & Wesson or we call him Hog because he eat anything, including bananas. But I want to thank y'all for listening in, and y'all have a safe evening. And I want to tell all my family out there I love y'all, and y'all keep on being safe. And we don't know what's going on with this coronavirus. And see y'all in church soon. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you, Dice Man. Play that song. Take us home, Dice.
preachers keep on preaching. Words keep on turning. Doesn't bother me too long. Oh no. Lovers keep on loving. Believers keep on believing. Sleepers just stop sleeping. Doesn't bother me too long. Oh no. I'm so glad that he let me try.